You're listening to Community Global Internet Radio. And today we are talking with Mike and Dayle Thompson. And they're in Sacramento, California, along with us here. And we are on observations and perspectives. Today we're going to discuss racially integrated marriages. It really doesn't seem so long ago, you guys, that we were talking about, well, how long we've known each other. And it's been a long time, 43 plus years. And actually, you two have been married 42 plus years.
That's
And
correct.
yeah, and our we crossed paths during NOW meetings, the National Organization for Women, also some of the social justice organizations in Sacramento, and they were going full-fledged when we knew each other.
Yeah.
And you know, when I met you, I said, hey, those two are not afraid of anything. That you were less fearful than a lot of people. Just for the sake of identification purposes, Mike is African American and Dayle is white. Again, they've been married for 43 plus years. So Mike, can I ask you about your family? Where did you live growing up? Did you have brothers and sisters? And anything striking or unusual about your upbringing or your childhood?
Well, yeah. For starters, I'm the oldest of five in my family. There are four boys and one girl. Something that was a bit different than everybody else in the neighborhood. My middle brother was born blind.
Oh my.
Yeah, and so therefore that made our family a bit different than everybody else there. I was born and raised in a small county in the Tidewater area of Virginia. The county consisted of 7,500 people.
Oh, not too big, not too big.
In the county. There were no stop lights. There still are no stop lights today.
Wow.
It was. I went to a segregated school.
Wow.
From grade 1 through 12. Graduated with 17 people in my graduating class.
Wow.
Which was one of the bigger classes.
Gosh.
Yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much
okay. And I know that you also, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but you also are an electrical engineer, and this is something that when you say you went to an all segregated school, something must have happened after that to enable you to get like a college education. I mean, I think that you mentioned once before that you did have teachers who would help promote what you wanted to do.
Absolutely.
But you didn't have the books.
That is true. That is true. As a matter of fact, two of my teachers, a science teacher and a math teacher, held special classes for about 3 or 4 of us who wanted to go on to college.
Yes.
And wanted to major in the sciences. So they taught, even sometimes it was after hours, some of the classes that they would teach us, one being advanced trigonometry, physics, which is what I decided to major in the beginning. So at any rate, they were I thought the teachers were very conscious of the fact that we had to do a bit more than the masses to get ahead.
Yes.
And they took that into account. The other thing is that almost all of my teachers were either went to school with my parents,
Who your mother is a teacher.
right?
Wow.
Or you know, they knew the family,
Yes.
you know. Consequently, you almost had to behave yourself because before you got home, you know, if you had done something wrong at school, before you got home, it would
They
you
knew
would
about it.
be there.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And this, mind you, without any phones. We did not have a phone when I first started school.
Oh my
I
God.
was probably in the 6th grade or so before we got a telephone.
Yeah. What's the name of that little city that you were raised in?
Matthews, Virginia.
Matthews, Virginia. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
Keep
So
that.
Dale,
Yeah.
how about you?
Okay,
Can you kind of fill us in on the same type of information? Like, where did you grow up? Did you have brothers and sisters? Anything unusual about your upbringing?
Let's see. I was born in Detroit,
Mm.
in Deaconess Hospital, where I met little Stevie Wonder.
Oh my God, that's great.
Years later, I was around 18.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, I grew up in Utica, Michigan. It was an all-white town. And I mean, nobody passed through that wasn't white even. We were on the way to nowhere. So it was white. And I didn't really realize how racist people were. You know, you don't when you're in an all one race town,
Right, exactly.
because nobody has to say much about it.
No, you don't ever talk about it.
No, you don't ever talk
Mhm.
about it. So the first job I got where I was really noticed that was at Bendix in Michigan, in Troy, Michigan. And my, were they racist.
Oh boy.
Mhm.
So, So, do you have any brothers and sisters?
I'm the oldest of 3.
Okay.
My brother is about 4.5 years younger than me. My sister, 9.5 years. And
So you were both the senior children in your
both the
family.
seniors,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
My dad was a double amputee from World War II.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
when he went in the service, I was born, and I didn't see him till I was around 2. And he had his legs off by then from the knee down, from
Oh my God.
below the knee down. So that was different.
Yes, it
Everybody
was.
in town knew that my dad was the hero.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody.
Exactly.
There was not a person in town.
Yeah.
If I said oh, you're Charlie Winchester's child.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep.
That was meaningful then.
Yeah.
So you two, where and how did you meet? And what brought you together as a couple? And I do have some inside information about both of you.
Mhm.
But since I've known you for over 40 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm aware that you're both attractive people. So that must have been, well, there must have been a touch of physical attraction.
That-
And
that
then
was part of
also,
it.
and
It was.
you
Yeah.
both have what I consider to be like the golden hearts, great hearts. So there was that working as well.
Mhm.
So where did you meet? I mean, how did you run into each other?
At Bendix, my friend, one of my best friend from Bendix got a promotion to human, what do you call it? I can't even remember.
Human resources.
That's right. And she told me she was in Virginia, and that's where Mike worked. And she said, I'm sending this fellow up there, and I want you to take good care of him, because she knew how racist it was. I said,
Oh God,
okay.
yeah.
So here we are.
Oh God. So you obviously didn't need much urging because
No.
you've now taken care of him for 43.5 years.
I was fascinated because
Right.
not only he came, but a girlfriend of his came.
Oh wow.
And I'm sitting there, I know all this stuff. He knows that he
I
doesn't
don't
know
know
I
this.
know.
Oh God.
I did not know.
I'm like, oh God.
As a matter of fact, I thought that I was getting the relocation to Michigan because of the issues that I had had with one of my supervisors,
Hmm.
which was a racial,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
little racial tension between the two of us.
Yeah.
But there
Oh,
And so,
Yeah.
Bonnie, the woman that Dale just spoke of, had just come to our facility in Newport News, Virginia. And she knew that I was having this issue with with the supervisor.
Mhm.
And she said, you know, I know some positions in Troy, Michigan that you would fit into. There's some folks there your age and seem to have some of the same interests as you. Maybe you want to transfer there. Well, I was in the middle of a divorce at the time.
Yeah.
So it kind of fit in quite neatly that I would get out of that area and start anew. So the first person I meet when I get to Michigan is Dale.
Well,
She's in personnel, so you know
well, isn't that nice?
she's greeting
And
Uh-huh.
plus I'm fascinated because Bonnie's told me all this stuff. I'm like,
that I don't know about.
no.
But one of the things that that did draw my attention was she had an afro wig on.
Oh,
And if you remember back, this was in the mid 70s,
yeah.
right? So
Yes, yes,
afro wigs
yes.
were big, you know. And I thought, now this is pretty cool. Here's a white woman sitting here greeting folks, and she's wearing an afro wig.
Jeez.
That was something I had not been accustomed to.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh. Welcome to Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Well, that's fabulous. And during this time, when you guys were like growing up and dating and stuff, did you have any friends who were involved in integrated marriages or in racially mixed dating or anything of that?
No,
Anything? Nothing.
There
No,
wasn't anybody there.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
growing up for certain.
No, not growing up.
Later in life, I did know this one guy who I'd grown up with in Virginia who had moved to California, and he was in a mixed marriage.
But
As a
you
matter
hadn't
of
seen him.
fact, huh?
But you hadn't seen him.
I hadn't seen him for a long time.
Wow.
But when we moved here, we did spend a couple nights with him before we found a place to rent.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our experience with.
Mhm.
Right. Exactly.
Mixed.
Exactly.
Yeah, we didn't have anybody to be mixed with.
No.
Where we
Yeah.
were.
Yeah. I mean, but you must have heard that, you know, people do marry people of other races, or was it?
Yeah.
Well, I remember
Uncommon.
Davis. Remember them?
Yes.
They got my eye.
Yeah. Well,
I
yeah,
said,
I bet.
"Whoa."
And that was before either of us had any
Yeah.
idea that we would be one day marrying someone out of another race.
Yeah. I mean, individually for your families, did they have a reaction to you?
Oh yeah.
And do you want to share just a little bit of what it is, what you can share?
Well, I can share it all.
Well, we could share quite a bit of
My
it.
family disowned me for almost 20 years.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I didn't
Yeah.
see him. And that was easier, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That was easier.
Yeah.
But when we went back, when my mother wrote a letter and said, "You'll never know how much I've missed you," I almost had a heart attack. And we went back there, and you know what? It was more painful going back.
And yes. Yeah.
Because they're not different,
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Mike, how about your family? Were they
Well,
supportive?
I'll tell you, when I first took Dale there, it was one Sunday morning when we got there, and Mama was getting ready to go to church.
Oh,
So as she came out of the house, I pulled into the driveway, and I told her that I was going to bring a a good friend of mine with me.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if she knew how good of friends we were,
Yes.
but when
yes.
she saw Dale, she just stopped in her
Her
tracks.
mouth open and it never shut again.
Right.
Wow.
She
Wow.
went on to church and came back home, and she was looking the same way.
Oh my.
And I think that I hope that they were trying to accept us, but I don't think they ever did.
No.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I don't
Yeah.
think I think my dad did.
Oh, he thought it was quite entertaining.
Yeah, he found it entertaining.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
If I may, I'll give you
Sure.
a little example of that. We were there once, and we went to this pretty nice restaurant down on the water, and of course we were the only mixed couple in there.
Everyone else was white.
Everybody else
Yeah.
was white.
Mhm.
Okay. And we wanted baked potatoes. Matter of fact, 2 out of the 4 of us wanted baked potatoes with our meal. So the waitress took our order. Then she comes back and says, well, I'm sorry, we don't have any baked potatoes. Can we substitute? So we said, fine. And about maybe 5 minutes into our dinner, the table next to us had baked potatoes.
With a bunch of people, like
Yeah,
8 people.
with like 8 or 9 people with baked potatoes.
Yeah.
So we called the waiter in and questioned her. And the next thing was the manager came over to our table and explained to us that a baked potato is not a baked potato until it's baked.
Oh,
I say, well, excuse me.
that's amazing. So
Right.
you don't
Instead
have
of
them
telling
baked
us-
and warming or in a warming oven until yeah.
Right, but instead of telling us that it would take a little longer to get the baked potato, our thoughts were that they were trying to get rid of us.
Yeah.
Oh, it was very clear.
We don't have baked potatoes for you. You take this mashed potato or whatever
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
get out of here.
And your
Yeah.
dad loved that.
And of course we didn't let it rest there.
Well, that's
And my dad just beamed. I've never seen him beam so much as he did that day, seeing us handle this situation.
But your mother didn't care for it.
Mama didn't care for it because see, my mama was a teacher at the local elementary school, and
was this a segregated
of course,
school?
by this time, no,
Yeah,
by this
segregated.
time,
That's all Mike ever went to.
no, but by this
But-
time,
Oh.
by the time of this action,
Mhm.
Yeah.
the restaurant, it was all integrated.
Wow, that's good.
Okay, and but she was pretty well known around the county,
Yes.
and she did not want to be a part of her son questioning the authorities. I'm
Yes.
sure that's what it
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow. Wow. Well, we talked a minute ago about Michigan versus Sacramento. And when you left Michigan for Sacramento, California, did you realize someday that you would live in the most diverse city per capita in the United States,
No.
Sacramento, California?
Mm-mm.
we did not know that.
We still didn't know it until you told us the other day.
Right. Right. But we did know that California was
Yes,
a diverse state.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that was one of our big reasons for moving here.
Well, I'd been here when I was young and I knew I was coming back
Yeah.
someday. I just
Yeah.
didn't know when.
That's great. You just held that in abeyance until
Right.
you
I
got,
knew I was coming.
got ready.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
sometimes we find it hard to measure, but one of the benefits of getting older is that we have experienced and seen a lot.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So tell us some things about the changes you have both witnessed, especially as it relates to race, ethnic groups, religion, or sexual orientation. Do you have friends of different races, different sexual orientation?
Mhm.
We do. We
All
do.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that
we like.
it's been very good for us
Mhm.
to see people of different
Interests, all
yeah.
different.
um, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I guess we'll take a little time right now to philosophize, but
Mm.
do you um, have any feelings about where we're going in the future? I'm always amused by people who want us to go backward instead of forward and want to
Mhm,
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
progress from continuing.
mhm.
And
right.
it seems today that young people understand that unless we integrate, humanity will really not progress.
It won't.
That's right.
That's right.
I've always known
And
that.
and I hope that we have been a part of the teaching mechanism for our younger people. Uh, they must realize that we must continue to go forward and not get stagnant and go backwards, like some of our politicians might
Mhm.
Exactly.
might see.
And most of them, the politicians who believe that, I had to quote Mitt Romney not too long ago because every once in a while you hear a politician say something that's so honest. I mean, I don't know if he even intended this to be honest, but he said, "Look, life today is so different than when I was growing up."
Mhm.
And it is. It's
Yeah.
very,
Sure it is. Sure
and
it is.
he said, I haven't quite adjusted. But at
Uh-huh.
least he was honest about that. And
I
That's
like
true.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Oh, see, I like that.
yeah,
I do too.
yeah.
And so I think we are going to continue progressing, especially with some of the generations that are coming up.
Yeah,
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah,
I do.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, you know what? So far, all our kids are in mixed relationships or have been.
That's true.
yeah,
That is true.
Well, I take that back. Quiche hasn't been.
Well, right.
She's the
right.
only
She's
one.
the only one.
right.
But she just told she was going to be a foster mother. And the woman said, well, are you used to white people? Could you have white? She said, oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, I'm used to them.
yeah. We all serve our purposes, don't we?
That's
That's,
right.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, any other thoughts on the future of human integration?
Well, I think it's going to keep happening. It is keep happening.
It's got to keep
It's
happening.
keep happening. People are
Absolutely.
cooler. But I will tell you this, when you get old, people are not as bothered by a mixed couple. There's a difference when I was young,
Yes,
Yeah.
big difference.
yes, yes.
Yes. They don't care. Oh, well.
Right, exactly. We've noticed that being a gay couple,
Right. Now it's
Yeah.
the
a
same.
gay old couple, that we're no threat to anybody.
No
That's
threat.
right. They
That's
don't
Oh,
right.
man, yeah,
You guys can do what you want now.
exactly.
You're old. Oh, well.
Hey, I want to thank you both so much for being with us today
Well,
on
thank you.
observations and perspectives. And I hope that you will come back, that you will say yes, and come back again and talk about another aspect of human integration. So thank you both for being with us today, and I'll see you soon.
Yes. Have a good
Hopefully,
day.
yes.